In SOMBRE election, Sarawak representative for Inland Revenue Board is named and Malaysian life expectancy risen by 12 years. Those are the headlines for tonight. Good evening everyone, you're me Tvs Elliot and this is Tvs Nightline. We begin with a top story. Japan's ruling coalition, the Liberal Democratic Party (LDP) and SOWETO scored a sweeping victory in the upper house election. Led by Fumio Kishida, the coalition won a total of 76 seats, a split of 63 and 13 seats respectively, won by LDP and SOWETO. The outcome placed the coalition in a comfortable zone as they are able to retain the majority in the 248-member upper chamber of parliament.
The pro-constitutional amendment camp, comprising the LDP-SOWETO coalition, two opposition parties and independents, secured 179 seats in the upper chamber. Combined with the 84 seats it holds that were not up for election this year, it crossed the 166-seat threshold needed to aim for a first-ever revision of the 1947 Constitution. But while the LDP had its best outcome since 2013, the major opposition party, the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, won just 17 seats, losing 6 of the contested seats it had held before the election. The opposition Japan Innovation Party, which advocates constitutional reform, won 12 seats, adding 6 to its total in the chamber. The LDP's constitutional reform proposals include amending the war-renouncing Article 9, a sensitive issue for South Korea and China, both of which suffered from Japan's wartime militarism. The ruling party aims to end the debate over the constitutionality of the self-defense forces by explicitly mentioning them in the supreme law. Revision of the constitution needs the approval of a referendum, but that has aroused controversy among the public. Although celebration is due, none could do so, as many are still mourning on the loss of Japan's former Prime Minister Abe Shinzo, who was assassinated on Friday, July 8th. Current Prime Minister Fumio Kishida could not even break a smile as he pinned rosettes next to winning candidates' names on a board in a symbol of their victory. Abe was an influential figure for Kishida. A wake ceremony was held at a Tokyo temple where hundreds of mourners streamed in.
日本人の誇りとかそういったものをくれたんだと思ってるんです。なので最後に安らかに眠っていただけるようにお休みされるように献花に参りました。私たちがこの後の日本をきちんと引き継いで美しい日本にしますのでとお伝えしました。
Although Abe implemented an unfavorable policy toward China during his tenure, a Chinese foreigner speaks of the deceased goodwill.
虽然就是很多人觉得他的对华政策或者什么样不是很好，但是我觉得他其实真的是做了很多努力，对中日友好关系啊，还有就是他就是对包括对中国，就是其实我觉得他是真的很好的一个人，我觉得，所以他就这么过世了，我觉得是一个很难过的事情，是这个样，所以我觉得我要来来表达一下我的思念和哀悼。
A representative from the Inland Revenue Malaysia Board (IRBM) has been named by the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari, to an open and pending response from their counterpart at the federal level. The matter was confirmed by the Deputy Minister and the Premier of Sarawak's Department, Law, Malaysia Agreement MA63 and State Federal Relations, Dato' Sharifah Hasidah Said Aman Ghazali. In the meantime, no form of tampering should be done with the original agreement as set in the Intergovernment Committee during the formation of the Federation.
Malaysia. Jadi essentially Malaysia Agreement ini merupakan satu foundation dalam penubuhan negara Malaysia dan dan ianya tidak boleh diubah, dipindah, di-review, di-renew kan, ada pola pack baru kah, apa yang belum dilaksanakan dalam yang termaktub dalam IGC report, dalam MA 63 dalam perlembagaan yang belum dilaksanakan, kita akan perjuangkan untuk kita laksanakan.
Hasida told the press after the distribution of kurban meat to 210 recipients under the Semarang constituency at its service center on Monday, July 11th. Other pursuits, she added, are on reinstating several key agendas under MA 63 in regards to the parliamentary seat composition in Sarawak and its special grant.
Oh, banyak yang kita akan perjuangkan tadi lembaga LHDN, pentadbiran judiciary kita, kehakiman pun kita ada nak ubah komposisi di dalam parlimen, di mana kita mahu lebih banyak lagi kerusi di dalam parlimen, dan special grant khas di bawah artikel 112D yang review dia, kita ada bagi formula baru, dan kita semua ini banyak lagi lah agenda kita, dan ini akan kita teruskan sampai semua dapat kita laksanakan. Akan mengambil masa, nyasi cepatlah. Dia akan mengambil masa, tapi kita akan terus perjuangkan. No?
She stressed that any attempt of tampering with the initial MA 63 would void the agreement, thus nullifying any form of rights of Sabah and Sarawak. Therefore, any personal or political agenda should be avoided at all costs.
Life expectancy at birth in 2021 is expected to increase to 75.6 years, or about 12 years compared with 63.6 years 5 decades ago in 1970. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia (DOSM), the continuous rise in life expectancy indicates Malaysia will experience an aging population by 2030, where the percentage of people aged 60 years and above will reach 15.3% of the total population.
In conjunction with World Population Day 2022, celebrated every July 11th, Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin attributed the rise to four main factors, namely the fertility rate, life expectancy, age structure, that is the distribution between young and old people, and migration. Meanwhile, the percentage of children under age 15 showed a declining trend from 44.9% in 1970 to 24% in 2020. According to Muhammad Uzair, children under age 15 make up 1 in 4 people in Malaysia and is projected to decline further to around 1 in 5 persons soon after 2030. He said the declining trend of young age and an increasingly significant increase in old age will affect the number and dependence for working age in the future. Therefore, he urged the people to have a proper financial and healthcare planning to avoid problems during retirement. Despite the slower population growth rate in 2020 at 1.7%, Malaysia's population is projected to grow to 41.5 million by 2040. Malaysia's population totaled 32.4 million in 2020, with Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya having the highest population density with 8,157 and 2,215 people per square kilometer, respectively.
A man was arrested by the police following the discovery of a woman's body in a room of a resort located in Muka on Sunday, July 11th. According to Police Chief DSP Muhammad Rizal alias, the 52-year-old suspect, was detained at a house in Muka at 1:40 p.m. the same day. Muhammad Rizal said the suspect, who is the victim's acquaintance, was the last person seen meeting the victim prior to her death. The victim was a 44-year-old single mother with 2 children who reside in Cebu. According to him, the case is considered solved within the arrest made. Previously, the victim had checked in the resort on the evening of July 9th with her children. The police were then notified at 12:35 p.m. that a woman's body had been found in the room and immediately dispatched a team from the Criminal Investigation Division to the scene to investigate. Preliminary investigation of the victim's body showed that there are signs of internal injuries on the neck and left waist. The case is being investigated under Section 302 of the Penal Code for murder. A family of 4, including 2 children, was killed in a 2-vehicle collision near the Roban Junction along Jalan Shartok Sarike on Monday, July 11th. The tragic incident happened around 6:50 a.m., involved a sedan car and a trailer. According to a Sarawak Fire and Rescue Department Bomba Operations Center spokesperson, the deceased were a 30-year-old man, a 28-year-old woman, and 2 male toddlers aged 4 and 1. Firefighters from the SARAWAK station were deployed upon receiving the distress call. Upon arrival, they found all 4 were pinned to their seats. Rescue works were carried out immediately to extricate the victims from the wreckage using special equipment. However, they were pronounced dead by paramedics at the scene shortly after. Their bodies were handed over to the police to be taken to the hospital for post-mortem. Meanwhile, the lorry driver escaped unharmed from the accident. The operation ended around 9:30 a.m. after the firefighters cleared the road in the vicinity of debris and oil spills. A low-pressure weather system in the western part of the Philippines is expected to move towards eastern Vietnam in the period of July 10 to 13, bringing along with it strong westerly winds and cause squall-line or severe thunderstorm incidents. Met Malaysia said the situation could result in heavy rain with thunderstorms and strong winds in northern Sarawak, which include Bintulu, Miri and Limbang until July 12. Met Malaysia also said the wind would affect western parts of Sabah and Labuan until Tuesday and the northern states of the peninsula from tomorrow to July 13. The low-pressure weather system was detected based on the analysis of the Met Malaysia model, the European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecast, and the Global Forecast System. Met Malaysia also advises the public to always refer to the department's official website and social media, as well as to download the My Cuaca application for the latest information. Coming up after the break, no plan for economic shutdown and Ronaldo not for sale. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. The government has no intentions to shut down economic sectors despite the increase in COVID-19 numbers recently. However, Prime Minister Dr. Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the public needs to take proactive measures to protect themselves against the virus.
Ini kehidupan seperti biasa, tiada perancangan kajian untuk menutup sektor ekonomi dan sebagainya. Jadi kehidupan kita akan lalui seperti biasa, seperti yang ada pada hari ini. Cuma kitalah yang perlu mengambil tindakan untuk melindungi diri sendiri. Jadi sekali lagi lah saya nasihatkan siapa yang belum mengambil booster iaitu 7 juta tadi, silalah mengambil booster, dan jika ada simptom kepada diri sendiri, cepat-cepatlah jumpa dengan doktor untuk mendapat kepastian sama ada dijangkiti atau tidak.
He said this to reporters when met after attending the Korban Perdana program and witnessing the sacrificial rites in conjunction with Aidil Adha at Darul Fikri Mosque in Bura, Pahang on Monday. As of July 10th, a total of 3,264 new COVID cases were reported, bringing the total number of infections in Malaysia since March 2020 so far to 4.59 million.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob today said that 7 million Malaysians have yet to take their booster dose thus far. He said although the booster shots are not mandatory, it is vital for them to do so immediately, especially with the threat of the new Omicron BA.5 variant.
He said the recent positive COVID-19 cases is on an upward trend and the dose would offer protection in facing the new variants of the virus.
Saya difahamkan ada 7 juta lagi rakyat kita yang masih belum mengambil booster. Jadi mana yang belum mengambil booster, walaupun tiada paksaan ataupun diwajibkan oleh pihak kerajaan, tapi untuk melindungi diri sendiri dari segi jangkitan varian-varian baru yang mungkin akan timbul selepas ini, kita pun tidak tahu. Jadi eloklah mengambil booster dan sebagainya. Jadi saya harap kita sebagai rakyat mengambil tindakan proaktif untuk melindungi diri kita dan keluarga kita.
When asked if there was a plan to reopen large-scale vaccination centers to facilitate those who have yet to take the booster dose, Ismail Sabri said it was up to the Ministry of Health to decide if they find it necessary.
Still with COVID-19, as cases in Malaysia increased by 27.9% from July 3rd to 9 compared to the week prior. Additionally, COVID-19 related fatalities also increased by 46.2% from 26 to 38 deaths, while infectivity rate also increased 4.8% last week.
Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said over 21,355 cases were reported during that week, as opposed to 16,694 cases recorded from June 26 to July 2nd, adding that the average daily active cases for last week was 32,145, or an increase of 11% compared to the previous week. The number of COVID-19 admissions to public hospitals per 100 population also increased by 15% the same week, with Category 1 and 2 patients up by 14% and Category 3, 4 and 5 patients by 17%. Following the rise in COVID numbers, Health Ministry Khairi Jamaluddin advised those who have yet to take their booster dose to do so immediately. He also suggested that non-boosted Malaysians who have tested positive for COVID-19 or are at high risk to get the antiviral drug Paxlovid, which has been made available at the Ministry of Health's facilities since April 15th. The Pfizer-developed Paxlovid is the first oral antiviral drug in Malaysia to treat COVID-19 patients with mild to moderate symptoms in categories 2 and 3. Khairi also urged Malaysians to wear a face mask when being in enclosed or crowded areas, besides practicing the TVS, test, report, isolate, inform, seek method. Khairi said that the distribution of Paxlovid is also available in private health facilities, free of charge, but patients are still subject to consultation service charges and other related charges determined by the private health facility.
The Ministry of Plantation Industries and Commodities (MPIC) is confident that bilateral ties with Ankara will be further enhanced with a recent visit by the Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob to Turkey. Its Minister Dato Zuraida Kamaruddin said she is confident that the strong ties between both countries will boost bilateral trade, especially in the export of Malaysia's commodities such as palm oil.
Zuraida said she met Turkish Minister of Trade Dr. Mehmet Mus on March 27 and delved into Malaysia's intention to intensify downstream activities of the palm oil industry. Malaysia also offered its expertise in natural rubber technology, mainly in seismic rubber bearings, which are capable of absorbing earthquake tremors for the construction industry, including bridges and railways, which are rapidly growing in Turkey. During that trip in March, she also called on Turkey to support Malaysia's palm oil products. There were also discussions to make Turkey a hub for Malaysian agricultural commodities to enter Europe and Central Asia. Turkey is an important market for Malaysia's agri-commodities. The trade value of Malaysia's agri-commodities with Turkey amounted to 6.02 billion ringgit in 2021, with an export value of 5.99 billion ringgit versus 4.01 billion ringgit in 2020. The four agri-commodities exported to the Republic are palm oil-based products, followed by rubber, cocoa, and timber.
You're watching TVS Nightline. Now, South African police are hunting for 5 attackers who burst into a bar in the town of Soweto that killed 15 customers over the weekend. 9 other people were wounded in the shooting in the early hours of Sunday morning that shocked a nation with one of the world's highest murder rates.
Police confirmed a second shooting hours earlier on Saturday in a tavern in Pietermaritzburg, 500 kilometers southeast of Soweto, that killed 4 and wounded 8. And a third on Thursday during a suspected robbery in a tavern in Katlehong, outside Johannesburg, which killed 2 and wounded 2. The 3 attacks are not believed to be linked. The killings have unleashed a wave of public anger at the police for failing to tackle high levels of violent crime. The high number of rounds used in Soweto, forensic teams found 137 AK-47 cartridges at the crime scene, meant the killers would have had to reload while in the middle of the slaughter.
Macau shut all of its casinos for the first time in more than 2 years on Monday in a bid to control a rising number of COVID-19 infections caused by the Omicron variant. The last time the casinos were ordered shut was in February 2020 for 15 days.
The city's 30-plus casinos and other businesses will shut for 1 week, and people were ordered to stay at home, although short trips for essential services are allowed. With police monitoring flows of people outside and stringent punishments will be imposed for those who disobey. The government has previously been hesitant to close casinos due to its mandate to protect jobs. The industry employs most of the population directly and indirectly and accounts for more than 80% of government revenues. Macau has recorded around 1,500 COVID-19 infections since mid-June. More than 30 zones in the city have been deemed as high risk and are now under lockdown, with around 19,000 people in mandatory quarantine and required to take mass COVID-19 tests as the government adheres to China's zero-COVID policy that aims to stamp out all outbreaks. Although the government said it was not imposing a citywide lockdown, the stringent measures mean Macau is effectively closed.
Manchester United new manager Erik ten Hag said on Monday that Cristiano Ronaldo was not for sale and is in his plans for next season. Ronaldo's absence from the pre-season tour and his non-appearance at pre-season training have led to speculation that the 37-year-old wants to leave Old Trafford.
He haven't told me this, so I have read, but what I say, Cristiano is not for sale. Cristiano is in our plans and we want to get success together. No, we are planning with Cristiano Ronaldo for this season, so that's it. And I'm looking forward to work with him. He's not with us, and that is due to personal issues.
Ten Hag made the comments in Bangkok as he prepares for his first game in charge of the club against Liverpool in Bangkok on Tuesday. Reports have it that Ronaldo wants to leave after Manchester United's poor performance and failure to qualify for the Champions League. Ronaldo scored 24 goals in all competitions and was named the club's Player of the Year. The Dutchman said he wants to bring more players into the club, especially as he believes it will be a difficult season due to the timing of the Qatar World Cup in the middle of it. The pre-season friendly is part of the team's tours before the English Premier League season begins next month. Manchester United will then go on to Melbourne and Liverpool to Singapore.
With social media dominating much of our screen time, how can we ensure that our mental health is in check? And how positive mindset can protect us from the harms of social media and create healthy habits? Tomorrow on Sejahtera Asia, Alexan and Jessica will be speaking to Aris Elias, tennis coach and former professional tennis player. At 7:30 a.m. tomorrow, only on TVS Channel 122 and My Free View. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. Just a click away by heading onto our website TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Douglas Elliott. Thank you for watching.